Hello and welcome to another delve into my gaming vault, and today I'm moving back to the trusty Commodore 64 for the first C64 review I've done for almost a month, and today I'm going to be looking at Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo. So as always, let's begin by looking at the fact file for the game. So Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo was released in 1991, published in Europe by Hi-Tech Software and developed by PAL Developments. The price I paid for the game was £2.75, and the current going rate for it on eBay based on recent completed items is between £2 and £10, and I have to say the upper end of that scale was quite surprising. So that's the formalities about the game over with. Let's take a look at it in more detail. Here we have the packaging then, and actually it's quite impressive, I would say. If I was looking at this front cover in a shop back in the early 90s, I think I'd be quite attracted to this game. Nice big picture of Scooby in the arms of Shaggy there, and also Scrappy-Doo in the foreground. We've got Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo as the title of the game, and a haunted castle in the background by the looks of things. It's also got the seal of quality from Hi-Tech Software there, which means absolutely nothing, of course. It could be a terrible game and still have the seal of quality. And at the bottom there you've got the Hanna-Barbera logo as well, and the Hi-Tech Software logo. And on the spine again it says Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo, and a little picture of Scrappy there. And then moving on to the back, lots of screenshots of the Commodore 64 version by the looks of it, and an overview of the game. It says you play the part of Scrappy-Doo in this arcade-style platform game. Make your way through 4 levels of intrigue and mystery in search of Scooby and Shaggy, avoiding all kinds of nasties and baddies. Quick look at the tape then. As you can see, it's a clear tape with the Hi-Tech Software logo on and the Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo game title as well. Reasonably nicely done, but also not particularly remarkable. Let's move on to the instructions, and firstly, nice interior to the inlay as well, with the Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo logo again and a lightning bolt. Another wild and exciting adventure is about to begin for Scooby, Scrappy, Shaggy and the rest of the gang. Shaggy has followed Scooby with his everlasting urge for food, has decided to wander off in search of a quick snack. After a time, the gang notice that both Scooby and Shaggy are missing and have become deeply concerned. As quick as a flash, Scrappy-Doo springs into action, volunteering to go and help them. The search begins. So that's sort of setting the scene there. You play the part of Scrappy-Doo in this arcade-style platform game. That's the same stuff that's said on the back cover, so I'm not going to carry on with that. As you can see, there's 4 levels: Ghost Town, Graveyard, Mansion and Dungeons. The features: special Scooby snacks, springboards, trapdoors, hoverboards. Very Back to the Future there. Crumbling platforms, secret walls, hidden bonuses and loads more. There's an extra life for every 15 Scooby snacks collected, and apples and burgers for extra points. Okay, and then it's got this promotional thing: you've played the game, now wear the name, and you could send off for £2.99 plus postage and packing a collector's item, limited edition Hi-Tech Software metal pin badge. If anyone ever sent off for one of those that's watching this video, then let me know what they were like. And then inside there's a little bit more information about the game in English, controls and loading instructions and things like that. And then it goes on to have the instructions in other languages as well. And finally there's a little coming soon for the Jetsons and Wacky Races. And also more information about that brilliant Hi-Tech Software metal pin badge, which it says is 6 colours. Wow. 50p post and packaging. Remember when post and packing only cost you 50p? Not like that anymore, that's for sure. And again, it's also got that seal of quality, the Hi-Tech seal of quality assurance on the inside there, which, as I said, is absolutely meaningless because it could be a crap game and still have that on it. Now, as you'll know if you're a frequent viewer of my Commodore 64 videos, I do like to load the games off the cassette, but I've got a bit of a problem with this one because it won't load. I've tried to load both sides multiple times and it just kind of crashes. I've no idea why, because it definitely used to load in the past, but anyway, I've had to resort to loading off the SD to IEC card. So I've done that, and as you can see here is the loading screen for the game. Normally this would be having the bars around the side as the game was loading off the cassette, but not on this occasion. Pretty nice loading screen. You've got the title at the top there, which is shortened to Scooby and Scrappy-Doo rather than Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo, which I think trips off the tongue nicer, Scooby and Scrappy-Doo. You've got the castle in the background and some lightning bolts and mountains and things like that. Nice Hi-Tech Software logo in the bottom left there. Really nice drawing of Scrappy-Doo in the middle, putting his dukes up to fight, and also the classic picture of Scooby being held by Shaggy on the right hand side there. And as you can see, the credit there as well for PAL Developments. So yeah, very nice looking loading screen. Let's now load up the game off the SD card and see what it's like. Okay, so here's the title screen for the game. As you can see again, it says Scooby and Scrappy-Doo for the title. Published under license by High-Tech Software, copyright by PAL Developments, and also copyright Hanna-Barbera Productions, all 1991. And it's also got some credits here, programming by David Saunders and Nick Taylor, graphics by Ashley Routledge. So that's Ash and Dave, the famous demo scene coders who then went on to do a variety of budget games for different companies, including Gaplus for Mastertronic, and definitely a couple of them for High-Tech Software. I think they might have done some Codemasters ones as well, not 100% sure on that. The music's by Mark Wilson and the conversion is by Digital Design, so Ash and Dave are Digital Design converting the PAL Developments game, which presumably originated on one of the other systems, possibly the Spectrum. So yeah, that's it, some nice background music, as I mentioned, done by the guy that was just mentioned, and I can't remember what his name was already. Mark something, was it? Mark Wilson, there we go, thank you. Credits. So there's nothing else, no high score table on this one. Which is a bit strange because you do get a score in the game and then at the end of the game it just completely disappears. So anyway, let's press fire and get the game started. So here we have the game begins, and the first thing you might say is, where is Scrappy-Doo? And the answer is he's in the front of this brown building. As you can see me moving backwards and forwards there. Yeah, he's a brown sprite obviously, and there's a lot of brown backgrounds in the game, so yeah, he does blend into the background in places, as do some of the things you pick up, such as these hamburgers here, which you get 250 points for. So it's a horizontally scrolling platform game. It's left and right to move, up to jump and fire punches, and you can also hold the fire button down for puppy power, which builds up the energy of your punch and does a bigger punch, although most of the enemies I've come across only need one punch to hit them anyway. So you can scroll backwards and forwards. It's not one of those games where once you scroll to the right you can't go back to the left, so you can go back, but I'm not going to obviously because it's at the beginning of the level. So we'll start off by hitting this ghost, I think that was. Some of the enemies you can kill, like the one I just did. Some of them you can't, such as this Venus flytrap at the bottom there. That one, if you run into it it'll kill you, but you can't kill it. So there's straight away a big gap to jump over. Let's hope we can do that. Yeah, because also the skulls, if you land on them or hit them, they also will kill you, so don't do that. So the Scooby snacks to pick up, I've just picked one of those up, and you can see on the status bar at the bottom the number of Scooby snacks went up to 1. So you've got 3 lives. Any hit from an enemy or falling into the water and you lose a life. As I mentioned, you've got a score, but you don't get a high score. There's no high score table, so yeah, what's the point really? It's more playing for progression than score, I would say, this one. So yeah, the idea of the game is you've got to traverse 4 levels, I think it is, and then when you get to the end, presumably you rescue Scooby and Shaggy, and I don't know about the rest of the Scooby gang. I suspect they're just not in it. So like I said, punched a snail in the face there. Again, just need the one hit to most of these enemies. These fish that are jumping up and down, I don't think you can kill them either. I've never been able to manage to punch one when I've played it before, so I'll just avoid that. You get these birds flying across at times. They're obviously designed to get you unawares when you're jumping and scrolling the screen to the right, which is a bit unfair, but that happens a lot in these kind of games. So graphically pretty nice. The backgrounds are fairly straightforward platforming backgrounds, obviously with a spooky theme. The drawing of Scrappy-Doo, I was going to say Scooby then, but Scrappy-Doo is really nicely done. It looks really like him, and they've used a bit of a high-res overlay. I think that's what I was talking about the way you jump to one side and straight into a bird, so I lost a life there. So yeah, they've got a high-res overlay on him, I think, which makes him look a little bit more detailed, and yeah, unfortunately you can't see him very well against the backgrounds, but he does look really good. So let's carry on. Another Scooby snack there, and now I've got some rats to dispose of as well, so I'm not sure if you can do these in one punch, so we'll power up the puppy power. Sound effects, very limited in this game, it has to be said. There's a few little noises for jumping and things like that and collecting items, but otherwise it's quite boring with the sounds. He's got a punch sound, but it's very unremarkable. No music in game either, which is a bit of a shame. It would have benefited from a bit of music. Strangely, the music on the title screen wasn't the Scooby-Doo music, which I thought was a bit odd, but I guess that's just a decision made by the developers to not use that, or maybe they weren't allowed to. So here we've got a pumpkin bouncing backwards and forwards, which reminds me of Cauldron 2, and I don't think you can kill this one either, so I think this is more you've got to try and run underneath it, which is
bound to go badly. Yeah, there we go, and there goes another life. So pick up another Scooby snack. There's a couple of doors up here. There are some places where you can punch the doors and you'll get bonuses. I think I might have missed one of those. More Scooby snacks to pick up. I think it was 10 or maybe 20 Scooby snacks and you get an extra life, so they are important to pick those up. Here we've got some crumbling platforms, as you can see there, but you don't need them anyway because you can just jump over here. What have we got? Yeah, it's more of the same really. I don't know what's going on. There's like a little something climbing up the side of that building there, which is interesting, but there we go. Oh my god, I'm going to die now. Oh, yeah, I don't think you can destroy these. No, and there goes my last life and it's game over. So mixed feelings about that. Let's go again. It's nicely drawn and I think the programming is alright, but it's a bit bland. You know, looks wise it's fine, but in terms of the gameplay, it's, you know, there's not a lot going on. There's a few things moving around, some of which you can destroy and some of them you need to avoid. It seems it's impossible to destroy them. So yeah, it's all a bit kind of, you know, it's one of those games where it's a memory test basically. You've got to learn where the enemies are coming from and how to negotiate the platforms, and once you've done that, it's a lot easier to make your way through the stages. So that's what I'm going to try and do this time, and not get hit by anything, but I'm sure I will do at some point. So yeah, as I said, sounds quite boring. Graphics really nice. So I think it's Ash that does the graphics. Of Ash and Dave did a nice job. Although there is a lot of brown in the backgrounds, which clashes with the objects and the sprites. So a bit more variation in the colours would have been nice. So yeah, I mean, you must have to run underneath this, but that's incredibly hard to do. And again, I didn't manage to do it. I should just go for it and hope for the best. Oh, sometimes you push up to jump and it doesn't jump. Oh, it's done it again. Oh. That's 2 lives lost in quick succession from falling in the water, because sometimes as you're running from left to right, you don't manage to actually jump. I don't know what I was saying then. I lost the plot a little bit there. I've got annoyed. So let's just try and get these 2 power-ups or collectibles here. Obviously you can see what's going on with the pumpkins. Just easier to avoid them because it doesn't seem like you can pick them up, or pick them up. I've lost the plot completely with what I'm talking about here. I meant hit them, obviously. Come on, I know you're coming back, Mr. Snail, so just let me punch you. This thing here, again, not sure if you can actually destroy that or not, so I'm just going to try and avoid it. Suspect you probably can, but you've got to have a well-timed punch for that one. Oh, it got me. Oh, and it's game over again. That was annoying, wasn't it? Well, I'll play again and hopefully I can get to the end of the level. I don't think you need to see me playing through the early stages of it again, though. I will do that off camera or off recording and then come back when I've actually got a little bit further in the stage towards the end of it. So I'm nearing the end of this first level again, and I've lost 2 lives again, so it's not gone particularly well, but let's hope I can at least get, oh, for heaven's sake. I mean, I thought I was standing somewhere safe then. Yeah, it's quite annoying, this game. Let's see if I can survive to the end of the level with my remaining life. Probably not. I'll probably get hit by something with some not very good collision detection and end up losing my final life. Got past that one this time at least. Yeah, let's just go down here. Must be quite close to the end now, I think. I have got to the second level when playing before. Not quite sure how you get across this bit. How do you get across this bit? Oh, you must have to just do a big leap of faith across there. Okay, so you can destroy those, and there we go, I'm at the end of the level. So at the end of the level you get a cutscene of Scooby and Shaggy running away from a ghost. Nicely animated, nicely drawn again, no music. And does that just carry on forever until I press fire? I guess it does, yeah. So here I'm on level 2, and again, straight away there's an enemy right near you, and you start off there by the tree where you can barely see it's you. So again, that's not great. So level 2 is more of a sort of foresty, graveyardy kind of thing, rather than the city kind of thing of or the castle of the first level. And as you can see, we've got some moving platforms now. Try and get onto one of those. And as you can see there, you have to move with the platform. If you stand still, the platform doesn't go with you, so that causes problems as well. Not really a fan of that. Oh, I'm just trying to get that apple. I don't really know why, because all it's going to do is give me points that mean nothing anyway, so let's move on. So we've got some other enemies here. Let's do the puppy power on this one when it comes back to me. I'm charged up. Is it ever going to come back? There we go. Again, don't know if I really need that on those or not. There's a big sort of zombie, very nicely drawn and animated again. Once again, no problems really with that side of things. I think they did a good job. Where's it gone? Got to jump over the top of this, presumably. Yeah, there we go, managed to do that. And again, there's nothing in the way of sound effects. It's the same sound effects as the first level. Backgrounds are a bit more colourful, bit less brown, but not much because there's lots of earth. Now this looks like it's going to be really hard. You've got to jump on this platform and then run along with it, and this is just going to go badly, I'm sure, but let's give it a go. And what did I do? Walk straight off. I didn't even manage to jump on it into the water. Okay, so I'll give level 2 another go if I can get to it again. Once again, you don't need to see level 1 anymore, so I'll do that without recording and hopefully get on to level 2 again. Okay, so here we go, back on level 2. I've got a couple of lives left. I think I only lost one on the previous level, so that's a good start. I still think this level is going to be really difficult to get past that moving platform about halfway through. Well, I assume it's about halfway through. It could be less, it could be more. I'm going to avoid trying to collect most of the score based items just because there's not a lot of point. So while I'm going through this trying to shoot these things, shoot them, punch them even, I wonder if there's something in the ground there, because there's like, the ground's slightly different there. Is there a secret there? No, it doesn't look like it. I was hoping for the best. One thing I've noticed is when enemies go off the screen, they kind of don't follow the paths that they follow in. Like the guy, the zombie character here, I don't think it ever comes back. They just kind of disappear off, and it's not until you go back over here that he'll come back again. So yeah, again, it's not a terrible game, and it would have been probably worth the £4 or whatever asking price back when it was released, but you've got 4 levels and it's reasonably difficult, so it would provide a reasonable challenge, but it's just a little bit bland now looking at it from, with rose tinted, or not rose tinted glasses, just glasses. Looking back in hindsight, it's not really that much fun. It's a bit boring really, to be honest. Well, I'm walking along that platform, it's going to be impossible surely. I've walked off the edge of it again. You've got to time this absolutely perfectly and be in the middle of the platform. No, and there it goes again, and at that point it's just saying 78 there instead of game over. I've had enough of that game, to be honest. Yeah, a bit disappointed with it. Thought it looked like it could be quite a decent game, but it's really quite boring, and I can't see myself ever playing that again. There's so many more better platformers on the Commodore 64, even at budget price. There were. So and the other thing about it is that I'm not impressed with. No continues. Really hard to get through the game without losing lives. There's definitely places where you just can't get past the enemies without losing lives. No high scores either. It's just really lacking quite a bit of polish, and to be honest, I'd expect a little bit better from Ash and Dave, because they did some pretty decent games for the C64. So yeah, overall not really impressed with it, and I would say that I wouldn't keep it, and I'd probably sell it on, except the tape doesn't seem to work anymore, so I guess I'll just stick it back on the shelf and never play it again. So there you go, that's my thoughts on Scooby and Scrappy-Doo. If you've got any thoughts about the game, then please let me know in the video comments.
Okay, it's that time again where I pick a game at random to play next time around on Witchfinder's Gaming Vault, and there's only 4 games left in the tin, so let's pick one of those out and see what we get. So next time around, oh I've picked 2 there, let's do that again. So next time around we're going to get a PS2 game. It's New York Race. So join me for that next time around. Thanks very much for watching this video and see you in the next one.